put you in my sights.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Elite POV, where it's podcast time, and you know what that means. And welcome to our new home on Twitch. My name is Phil Cataldo, but you can call me Philium, alongside Game of Anthony DeStefano. What is going on?
I thought I was green screen. I thought we were doing this
green screen because of course this is on my setup. So he doesn't have his green screen option. He just
I can't have fun with like the Big Show and Christian.
Yeah, he just looks like a very big Rick and Morty fan.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. All Out this weekend. I went down memory lane from a couple years ago when we were at All In this week.
3 years.
And
3 years this week of us being a part of it.
Crazy. Makes me so excited to talk about All Out, CM Punk's return, Daniel Bryan's maybe debut, Andrade versus Pac. Andrade's teasing something. Who's he going to face? Like, there's so much shit going on, plus the action-packed Dynamite we saw last night.
It was a great time. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about the Dynamite, as Ann said. We're going to talk about some news in the world as it, works with All Out, with a match getting canceled. Very upset about that. And we're also going to give you our official All Out prediction. We're going to go through all the matches. But we would like to introduce our special guest this week, wearing a great FTR shirt, and they had a great match this week. So happy to have her on. What's up, Jacky?
What's up, guys?
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
Dear. Oh, Jacky, how are you, dear?
I am well. I'm very well. I'm excited. And thanks for having me, guys.
We're happy to bring you on.
Jacky's one of our close friends.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I want to try podcasting. I said, well, good. You're coming on this week.
Yep. Listen, we are known.
Trial by fire.
We are known to pop people's podcast cherry. So.
Whoa. I mean, hey, listen.
And popped mine.
I did.
I've been walking funny ever since.
He has. He looked like Zack Ryder getting pushed off the stage after
Kane. Good times. That's spinner belt Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona now. Yeah,
it's fire.
I love that he's going the opposite way. Usually, it's the commercial company gives a belt to somebody who isn't commercial and they indify it, but he's making it super commercial. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
I love it. It's you have to embrace it. Like Cody on the indie scenes, right? He always wears suits. And they're like, why? And he's like, I'm known as the corporate guy from New York. Like, I have to wear suits if it's what people think of me. And he always wears suits. Like, always. He's the corporate guy, right? So, you embrace that. I like that. Shows character. I'm not the biggest Matt Cardona fan, but I do enjoy what he's doing right now. I'm not going to lie.
Me too, as my computer is going haywire a little bit. But so let's jump right into the news, the heartbreaking news from AEW this week, which is that there are travel issues for Pac. We're all assuming that he's stuck in his home country and he's not able to fly over due to COVID and due to all the crazy stuff that's going on. Why they let this man go home when All Out is like their WrestleMania, like their SummerSlam. It's a big night. You would figure maybe they would keep him stateside just in case, with the Delta variant kind of going crazy. But as of right now, the Andrade Pac match is officially off. And Andrade on Twitter is teasing that he's still going to be a part of All Out. But as we saw after last night's Dynamite, he wasn't on the match graphic. He wasn't even mentioned at all. On Unrestricted this week, Tony Khan was previewing the show. They didn't mention that match, and he didn't say anything about Andrade being on. So who knows what's going on. But I'm going to start with you, Jacky. How disappointed are you that we're not getting Andrade versus Pac?
I'm extremely disappointed because out of most of the matches that are going on, that was the match that I was the most hyped about. I felt like it had the potential to be match of the night. And now to know that it's not happening, it's I'm freaking bummed. I'm really bummed. I was not expecting that, especially so close to the actual event happening.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible. And like I said, they couldn't get this man a hotel. They couldn't get him an Airbnb. They couldn't get him something in Chicago for a couple weeks, I know on Ethan Page's blog, from this past week or vlog, he got stuck in Milwaukee. He wasn't able to fly into Canada, so they got him a place for the night in Chicago. Like, they should have did the same thing for Pac.
It's just that's where having a little bit of freedom goes haywire sometimes, right? Like, we all praise them. Well, this is one of the downfalls. It's your biggest show. It's the first match you announced. It is the show where a lot of lapsed wrestling fans are going to come watch because CM Punk is now back, and you could showcase a talent like Andrade against someone they know, Neville, right? They know that guy. Well, Andrade kind of blew up after people stopped watching, and I think I'm more sad for Andrade, and this is about the third or fourth time that this has happened with Pac, and I love Pac. I think he's super talented, but eventually it's like, stop going home. Like, I get it, but this is WrestleMania season for them. This is their biggest weekend. And to miss this and having a marquee match, right? Having the match of the year contender, match of the night contender, where both of your stakes will rise up. I hate seeing it. I'm excited for when it happens on Rampage. And if it does happen on Rampage, give it the full hour. Like, I don't give a shit. I want to see this match go. Like, I want this match to be everything it was supposed to be and more.
Well, from what we've seen with AEW, especially with the match that we'll talk about from this past week, that when something goes wrong or something comes up, they will go back to the match. It could be 6 months from now. Yeah. It could be next week, but we will get Andrade versus Pac. They will at least finish the story that they're telling. Now, we have Rob in the chat saying he wants it to be the Rampage tapings at Arthur Ashe. It might be at Arthur Ashe, like, actually on that card. We don't know anything about that card yet. Other than that, it's going to be the biggest live audience they ever had.
It's going to be lit.
It's going to be crazy. I'm going to be all Santana and Ortiz'd up.
If they don't get a title shot there, I'm going to be very upset.
I'm going to riot.
Listen,
One woman riot.
Yeah, we're going to Ruby riot. Hopefully this Sunday.
You'll be doing that Sunday.
Yeah. And then, so now with the news of this match getting canceled, they did announce a new match for the pre-show, which we'll get to at the predictions. But the Women's Battle Royal got moved to the main card. Now, for me, this is great because I wanted this on the main card to begin with, because AEW is known for only having one women's match a night, especially on Dynamite. I mean, on Rampage, you can't blame them. There's only 3 matches. So, like, the fact that they have one is a big deal. But on Dynamite, there's like 47 matches a week, and they still only have one women's match. So it's like, it's great to see that on a pay-per-view, we're going to get 2 women's matches, which I'm excited. So, I'm going to start with you. How excited are you this is on the main card now?
I'm very excited because you're going to see some new talent, and you're going to get to see Ruby Soho debut, and I think that's going to be a huge moment for the women's division. I spoke about the women's division and how this is a face that they need. I know that they're all getting better, but you could just see how much better Tay Conti was than Penelope, and that's not a shot at Penelope. I love Penelope, right? But you could tell Tay Conti has more experience on television wrestling. So this is the shot that they need, where Ruby Soho comes in. She's very well known. She's very well liked. She's one of the best female wrestlers in the world, and she's been on television. She knows how to work the camera. She knows how to work the crowd. And I think that is going to, again, elevate the female division, the women's division, because now you have another locker room leader. Like, Britt Baker is great. Britt Baker is the hottest thing in that company, not named CM Punk right now. The problem with Britt Baker is she is also just getting used to working towards a camera. And you can say, like, oh, you know, AEW's been a thing for 2 years, and it has. But they didn't do the recordings that WWE did. WWE, if you've ever been to the house show, they still play like it's to the camera. Like, they practice all
Well, it's
the
still
time
recorded,
on the
and they could look back,
Yeah.
and they could, and that's the one thing, like you said, especially in the women's division, because we forget that a lot of these women have never performed on television before. They were indie wrestlers, or they're like someone like an Anna Jay who was in the middle of training and then boom, became a main roster talent, right? Because of COVID, because of the pandemic, and they needed people, and she was available. Actually, you know, we'll get into it during Dynamite, but that was the biggest crowd Anna Jay's ever been in front of, because she didn't wrestle in front of fans.
Great
Yeah, she did.
Great,
which I'm very happy for. But enough of that. I want to jump right into everything that was last night's AEW Dynamite. And I want to start off with my personal opinion, one of the best matches of the year. Definitely probably the best tag match of the year. It's between this or the match at Double or Nothing with Moxley and Kingston versus Young Bucks for me. But that is, of course, FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. Jacky, you got the FTR shirt on. I want you to start off. What did you think of this match?
Oh my God. Okay, so when this, I've been asking for this match, no lies, since like November of last year, just tweeting about it. I've been wanting to see these two teams go at it. So when they originally announced the first bout, I was hyped as hell. I was so ready. And then catastrophe, ended that match. And we didn't know the extent of Cash's injury and, didn't know what to expect with that. So I wasn't entirely sure when we would see a rematch, if we would see a rematch. But this match, man, oh my God. It made me emotional. It was so good. Two teams that are just completely all heart and go into it with everything that they have. The little nods to Bobby Eaton with FTR's gear, the nods to Eddie Guerrero with the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it just it gave me chills. But yeah, it was just two teams with incredible chemistry, and they really brought it. I can't say enough. It's one of those matches that I was please don't look at me, don't talk to me. I need to be in this moment.
Yeah.
It was everything.
And to me, the great thing is that, so on TV, and I don't know if you guys felt the same way. Well, I know Ant does because we were texting during it, but the crowd sounded super low on TV. Now people have
that mixing up.
People have been tweeting, showing footage, right, that the crowd was actually really loud, but it didn't come across on TV. So in the beginning of the match, it sounded like the crowd didn't care about this match, and then about a couple minutes in, the crowd was going crazy. We heard "This is awesome" chants. We heard all the stuff that you want to hear, right? So kudos to them for getting that. But Ann, what did you think of the match?
I think it's everything that PMP needed, right? Because we've seen how great the Revival has been. I call them the Revival still because fuck the Revival. It's just a thing I do. But FTR, we've seen how great they've been, right? They came, they took the tag titles. They've only lost twice on television. They look dominant. We know how great they are. Only people who watched Impact know how great LAX, PMP were, right? Their feud with the Lucha Brothers was my favorite of that year. But they have just been kind of intertwined with the inner circle where you saw their talent, but they didn't have their moment. Last night was their moment to prove hey, we are a top 3 tag team in this division. There's a reason that when we debuted, it was such a big deal, and Chris Jericho asked for us to be with him. There's a reason for this, and they showcased that last night. To me, that was their coming out moment. To me, that made all the people, the million people watching last night, put their eyes on them and go, that's your next tag team champions. And I don't see them going any other way. And as much as I love the Lucha Bros, and I think that match is going to fucking be the match of the night, I think PMP wins them in New York. I think they've had the payoff. They have the momentum now. And I think they go into New York red hot in front of a 20,000 seat stadium, and they win the titles in their hometown.
But that's the good thing about AEW as well, too, right? Because as wrestling fans our whole lives, we're like, well, hometown people never win, right? But we saw Britt Baker in Pittsburgh retain her title. We've seen people have great moments in their home cities. So it is very much possible. Plus, the Bucks have been champs for a while, right? And now we're going back on the road. There's fans in attendance. These heel characters with the super elite are completely over now. It is working 100%. So they could take the titles off of them. Hey, maybe they give it to Penta and Phoenix, and we get another throwback to LAX versus the Lucha Bros like we saw in Impact, or we saw at House of Glory, or all these shows that they did on the Indies. I don't know. We hope, right? I mean, I'm going to be there. Jacky, you're going to be at Arthur Ashe, right?
Yep, I'll be at Arthur Ashe, yep.
Yeah. So, selfishly, we want to see it, right? But, I think storyline-wise, it also makes a ton of sense that you would have Santana Ortiz win. But also, it's tied 1-1 now. So, you could very well have a rubber match. I mean, they should have had it all out.
Ortiz tweeted about it. He tweeted about it today. He's like, now we're 1-1. Do we go for the rubber match? And I'm all for it. They could have made that whole episode just that match, and I would have been chill with that.
100%.
I was very, very nervous every time that Cash took a bump last night, though. I'm not going to lie. And they did a couple spots near the turnbuckle, which, for one, takes a lot of balls to do after that kind of injury. But my favorite thing is that you saw him and he seemed to be moving fine. His arm was working fine. I don't know how it was feeling, but you notice he was grabbing the rope. So he knew what he was doing with his arm. I don't know if the nerve damage thing was part of the storyline or not. To me, it didn't look like it was a major factor. So hopefully FTR stays what they're doing and they don't go. I know they're teasing top guys out and all that.
But see, that's where I love FTR for being so committed to kayfabe, right? To getting us. But it also terrifies me because I'm scared that it's real. And they're my favorite tag team of all time. I don't want them to be going anywhere. I don't want them to retire. So like you said, you're watching that match and you're seeing Cash mess up and it's like, was he actually messing up or was it a part of the story? Because they're that good that they can do that, right? So, and I did love the callback of the Brainbuster, which ended the first match, and they do it during this match and gets a large pop from the crowd because obviously the crowd thought, oh, it's over, it's a Brainbuster again, which I thought was pretty cool. But now the next thing, and I know Ant's been waiting for this, we've been live, 20 minutes almost, 15 minutes, and we haven't talked about CM Punk yet. So Ant, this is your time to shine.
I think I'm over it. I think I'm over it.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
Yeah, you think you're done?
We got what we wanted out of it.
Yeah. But that promo segment with Punk that led into his first physical activity. Woo!
Sting is used perfectly in his role. Sting is used absolutely perfect. I feel bad for Rob because I really, for weeks, he's been talking about the Sting CM Punk picture.
Yeah.
And now he won't get to get it, but he will eventually because I do think you'll see Sting fight CM Punk. I don't know why.
So basically you're saying, Rob, get ready to book another flight.
Yeah, get ready to book another flight.
Yeah.
You know, American Airlines hoot. But when we're watching the Punk thing and we're seeing like we got to see him get physical for the first time since 2014. Like we got to see him get physical inside a wrestling ring. I mean, I know he's been doing masked GTSs in the indie scene and stuff like that, but it's the time we got to see CM Punk in character fight, throw fist.
Yep.
Yes, I know his GTS looked a little sloppy. It's been fucking 8 years.
Yeah.
I promise you, Sunday night with momentum, that match is going to blow
and
the
Darby,
roof off the place.
let's be honest, Darby's a lot
about
lighter.
As heavy as my daughter.
Yeah, Darby a lot lighter than the guy he picked up last night. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited. His promos have been great. I really like that we're seeing the side of the guy where he's not sitting there shitting on the company. Every interview he's done, he could shit on the other company, and he doesn't. And I think that's maybe Punk's being like, hey, guys, if you don't like it, don't talk about it. And maybe he's trying to tell the fan base to do as well because it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And I really, really enjoy that he's coming back and he's not the bitter CM Punk that's like, fuck that other company. It's all about what's great about AEW, not what is wrong with WWE. And that's what I'm enjoying the most out of the Punk thing because that is the one guy that could shoot on that company more than anybody, right? They fired him on his wedding day. Yeah. But he's not. He's taken the high road and he's made it about why AEW is the place to be and why WWE, like, he doesn't even name drop them. Even in interviews, he'll say the other place I work. He does not take any attention to them.
Yeah. But Jacky, how crazy is it that the first people to physically touch CM Punk are Daniel Garcia and 2.0, who have just signed to the company.
They love Daniel Garcia.
2 weeks ago?
They love Daniel Garcia.
Which is crazy. They were just signed to the company 2 weeks ago, and not only have they been in matches with Sting and Darby, who's the biggest babyface in the company, but they were the first ones to put hands on CM Punk.
That was one of my first thoughts. I'm like, this company has to be so high on Daniel Garcia and 2.0 that, like, right out the gate, this is their major feud.
It's crazy. And listen, Daniel Garcia
incredible
needs a little
wrestler. Work on the mic, but he's incredible in the ring.
Incredible wrestler.
Again, that's what we're talking about with the female division. They need more time working towards the camera. Garcia will get it, right? You can only be in front of a camera so much before everything clicks, and it's going to click, and he has all the in-ring ability to be a star in that company. So I get why they're doing it. He has the look. He has the moveset. Is it surprising? Yeah, but you got to think, too, in the sense of they don't want any of these other guys that we're all looking forward to Punk fighting down the line touching them. So they're going to give him the young up-and-comers that they have faith will sell for him and look good for him. So that's why I think they're throwing these guys at him. It's a bump in their confidence, but it's also like, we're not going to throw the Elite at him. We're not going to throw Dark Order at him. We're not going to throw Jungle Boy at him. We're not going to throw, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to keep MJF. Punk hasn't even talked about MJF. You think Punk doesn't know about MJF? No, that's on purpose because they don't want to tease that.
Yep.
So they're kind of holding back, which is smart because in our head, we're like, why isn't he talking about MJF? Well, there's a reason for that.
And also, in all the interviews he's given, he has not said MJF's name once.
Nope, not once.
He says the same people.
No
he says,
acknowledgement.
Yeah, he says Pillman Jr., he says Darby, he says, Jungle Boy or whatever. He says the same group of guys. Will Hobbs, who had a match tonight, I don't necessarily blame them, right? I think the crowd, it was weird. I mean, I know that it was louder there, but on TV, and they were in a weird spot. Like, that should have been a pre-show match on Sunday.
I like Hobbs.
I like both of them.
I do as well. It was one of those matches, like, not to jump ahead, but it didn't connect with me at all. Like,
no, that was kind of the match.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think inside the ring, Cage's charisma, it's not the same as it was. Like, as far as like Lucha Underground booked him, or even in the indie scene, he's missing. Like, it feels like he's missing something. Like, when I watched that match, Hobbs was the star to me. That's not probably how it was supposed to come out.
To a lot of people, Hobbs is a big star.
But like
a lot of
watching
people
that match, like if you're watching that, you're like, this Hobbs is the guy that they really are. And I like Brian Cage. Something is just not clicking since he's started in this company.
Yeah. It's
I mean, how many times did we watch the Tessa match? Realistically, come on. Like, he can have amazing matches. Mm-hmm. Something's just not clicking right now.
Yeah, even back at Double or Nothing, the match that he had with Adam Page.
My God. So good.
That was a really good match. And I'm like, for being a bigger guy, you always, think people are going to move slow. It's just going to be like a really slow paced, thing. But he's very agile and he came off as very athletic. And I was actually surprised, like, at the end of that match, I was like, I really enjoyed that. But then when you have this big Haas fight last night where it's like two guys, not really a lot of momentum, I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's AEW's not perfect, right? Not every show is going to be perfect. It'll be pretty close. I mean, we ran the poll on Twitter, and last I checked it, I'm going to double check it right now, but
it was a B show. It was a 42% B, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it was an A show. I just think the crowd was weird.
I did put B, and I'll explain why right now, because when you're on topic. I think AEW's biggest flaw is a company that I love, and this is me nitpicking.
Yeah, B is
their
B1.
Their inability to end a show. Last night's ending, once again, Kenny Omega's still talking when the show's going off.
Well, because they have a hard out at 10.
Yes, they do, but they need to. That's what I'm saying. They need to get better. That's my nitpick with the Malachi Black Cody thing. Every ending has felt a little awkward, right? They need to get better at just ending the show, cliffhanger or not, someone standing tall or not. That's the only reason I gave it a B, because I felt like that first hour. I mean, I was watching with Jacky and friends, and I said, that is the strongest first hour I can remember in a long time.
Yeah.
The second hour, and it started with the Penelope Tay Conti match, which props to them. They turned it around. They got This Is Awesome chance, right? Mm-hmm. But the beginning, it was like a bad ballet. Like, Penelope was missing where she was supposed to be 3 or 4 times.
We could jump right into that match. So, like, obviously, if you guys know, I am a huge Tay Conti fan. Love Tay Conti.
We love all of them.
Yeah, but like, I love Tay Conti and I love Anna Jay, who we'll talk about in a second. But like, I think that when it comes to women's wrestling, there's levels to greatness, right? I think that if we're doing it at ABC scale, right? So an A would be like a Charlotte, right? Or in this company, it would be like Serena Deeb or who like women like that who are, if Ruby Riott comes in, she would be an A, where it's like they will have a great match against anybody. Deonna Purrazzo's like this, right? But then there's, I think, Bs who are
Deanna's a B, and
no, Deanna's not a B, but I'm talking about just in ring work, right?
Deanna's sloppy.
No, but Deonna had a great match out of Melina over in
She's
Power.
great, but she's a little sloppy.
You need to watch.
And then
more
this is my favorite women's wrestler. I'm very aware, like I'm hypocritical, because I know how smooth she could be. There's times in her AAA match, what I saw, she was a little sloppy.
Well, AAA's a little, yeah.
But
no,
I mean, any match you watch with her, there's always a miscommunication. Watch and like dissect. But I would say she's a high. So
like
level
I think
in AEW she's an A though.
Yeah.
You know, if she was in AEW, she's top 3. She's an A. You know.
But so what I was saying is like Ashita. I think Ashita's an A in AEW because Ashita gets great matches out of everybody. Yeah. Thunder Rosa, another A. But like Penelope and Ty Conti are really good. I think Ty right now is better than Penelope, but that's just because she has TV experience and a fighting background because she did judo at the Olympic level, right? But so when, like, if you put Penelope in a ring with an A-level wrestler, she's going to have a great match. Same thing with Ty Conti. If you put Penelope in a ring with someone who's closer to her level, I noticed Penelope gets a little sloppy. She gets a little... It seems like she's not as confident, right? We saw her lift up Ty Conti in one of the spots, and she didn't seem like she believed that she can get her up. Like, it was like kind of a hesitation. And that's where you said, like, in the beginning, it was very, like, okay, they're, like, kind of feeling each other out. But
it was a bad ballet.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
and like... this is where I think that them not having house shows hurts because, as we all know, when a match is on WWE TV or a pay-per-view, they've run it on house shows.
They've done it.
Yeah, on house shows. Where in AEW, they might do it on Dark and Elevation, but most likely they're not. It's going right to Dynamite or Rampage. But Jacky, what did you think of this match just as a whole from start to finish?
As a whole, I mean, I have to agree. I'm on the Ty Conti train, definitely. It's been really awesome to see her progression from when she started in AEW to now. And I think that she carried that match for the first part of it. And then, like, slowly as because I went and watched it back again today, I feel like as the match went on, they started kind of connecting again and it flowed a little bit better. But I feel like I've seen better from Penelope Ford in previous matches.
She was definitely off last night. It was an off night.
And I don't know if it's just like ring rust or, I'm like, I haven't kept up much with Dark and Elevation, my bad, to know like how many matches that people are having that are not on Dynamite. But
I think Elevation's just squash matches. Literally, it's just...
No, so it's a mixture, right? So like... It's either a squash match or it's like a C-level story, like Diamante and Swole are in a story with Julia Hart. Like, they do stuff to get it ready for TV, right? I think, actually, hearing you talk about that, I think a big thing is the style. So Ty Conti is a very aggressive, physically, like, hard-hitting wrestler. And when Penelope works her best matches is against the enhancement talent girls or the A-level girls who aren't as physical, right? Who are more athletic, because Penelope can do all the cheerleader stuff. She can do all the back bends and all the flips and stuff like that.
All the bridges.
Yeah. But, like, she needs time to get into it, and she needs, like, a wrestler who's more graceful than physical. Ty Conti is extremely hard-hitting and physical. So maybe that's why, like, she had to kind of, like, wake her up a little bit. I don't know, but what?
I will say, though, I'm more excited for the Allie Ty Conti match because, again, Allie is someone who's worked.
Well, we saw it last week on Rampage.
Yeah, but I want more of it.
Yeah.
Right? I want to see more of it. Obviously, there's more to the story. You're going to see Ty Conti and Anna Jay work these two girls, right? That's where it's going.
Yep.
I just think last week was so much better with Ty Conti because, again, Allie's been on TV. So I want to see that keep going because those two had that chemistry and it didn't feel awkward. Last night just felt awkward.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, different styles, whatever. People have off nights. They turned it around. They finished strong. And then Anna Jay came back. And when Anna Jay came back, you forgot what happened in that match because now you're looking at Penelope and Allie versus Anna and Tay Conti, and that's all we want to say, right?
Yeah,
So.
and it's like, and at the end of the day, I'm just happy that you're getting more than one woman's segment, and you're getting a storyline that's not necessarily tied into the title. You know, it's like, give us something else.
We'd love to see that.
You know, I'm like, just keep on expanding, give the women more storylines, more depth, and so if this is a way to do it, then you know, I'm all for that.
Well, I'm looking at the rundown from last night. So we had the Ty Conti Penelope Ford match. We had the Britt Baker troll job in the backstage promo. We had the Thunder Rosa promo that was leading into Nyla and Jade attacking her, which then Thunder Rosa teased, oh, maybe I should bring someone to help me out at All Out this weekend. And then all the hype around the women's battle royal. They had multiple women's segments. So they are focusing and showcasing the women more.
Who's winning the battle royal? Because I know who's.
We'll
winning.
get there. We'll get there.
Who's winning?
But as far as Anna Jay's return, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting there and I'm watching it with my wife, and I'm a big Anna Jay fan, obviously. And during the whole segment, I'm like, I think Anna Jay's coming back. And then they start to beat her up. I'm like, oh, definitely Anna Jay's coming back. There's no way she's not coming back. And then she walks through, and I pop huge, and my wife turns to me and she's like, you knew this was going to happen. Why are you getting excited? I was like, because it's fucking Anna Jay, bro. I'm just excited to see her back.
Yeah.
The tweet, too, the 99-100.
Yeah, yep. And then she tweeted Chicago, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, little humble brag, right? When I met her like a month ago, I was talking to her about her injury, and she said that she was, she healed up good, and she was just giving it a little bit more time. So you knew that, or I knew, right, that it was going to be only a matter of time before she came back. I knew it'd be either All Out or maybe Arthur Ashe or whatever. Like, I knew it was a lot closer than people thought it was. But I'm just excited that she's back. TJ reunited. I'm excited for BTE for her to call Stu Grayson a little bitch. That's what I'm excited for.
I'm excited for Silver going, Anna.
The girl. Anna. Oh, yeah, Anna. And then Stu Grayson would be like, the girl.
There was no Dark Order stuff last night, which was interesting to me.
Well, it's a long play. I think with Hangman being out,
you got to think Hangman's out. So
it's a long play, and maybe Dark Order it's what's gonna be. Me and Carrie talk about this every day. So, but for me, it's like I think that the long play is Dark Order, and maybe after we're done with this whole Jurassic Express Lucha Bros stuff with the Super Elite with Christian. Maybe it's gonna be
the Elite
full
Hunter. You can't forget Frankie fucking Kazarian every 5 seconds. The Elite Hunter. Oh my god. Okay, dude, you're not a good hunter because you haven't got one of them.
Yeah,
yet.
not one of them. But and it started out with just going after Gallows and Anderson. It's like, are you gonna get one of them? Like, you've been at Impact
at any point.
Yeah, at any
it's
point.
So funny because we'll be watching it in our chat, and Kyle's like, "Up here, he fucking comes, and your boy's coming out, and then he comes out."
The Elite Hunter's here.
The best part is
huge pop.
Every time, I don't know what you guys think, but every time, because he comes out in all black, like hoodied up, you're always like, who the fuck is that? And you're like, oh, it's Kazarian.
Yep, all the time.
Yeah, it's him again, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, you were so over at SCU, and now you're an Elite Hunter. Great.
So now, before we get into the predictions, let's talk about the main event, right? Absolutely incredible match. Rey Fenix, I don't know how this man is human. It's unreal. But what I want to talk about is the way they ended with the Elite bringing down the cage and just kicking the shit out of everybody, sending the fans home booing, which is crazy to think, this is a huge show. We're going into All Out. You're having the heels go over to end your television show. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they recorded stuff after to send the fans home happy, but how did you think, besides the timing issue, okay, we know.
I mean,
how did you think?
It still felt a little sloppy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a kind of like a smorgasbord of shit. Like there's so much going on, and I get what they were trying to do. The Bucks had them in the cage, Omega had Christian in the cage, Christian Cage. That was funny. And like the handcuffs were breaking out and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I'm still like, all right, like it's just a bunch of fighting. Like, you should have just locked them all out and had the Elite just jump the shit out of Christian and like send that message to Christian that like Kenny Omega should have stood over him with the title after they all beat the shit out of him, and that should have ended it. It just felt like there was too many chefs in the kitchen, but it was effective because the crowd was going nuts. Mm-hmm. Right? The crowd was booing, and like you said, Might be unpopular to send them home booing. Well, they have another show Friday, and their payoffs on Sunday. So it keeps you going, oh my God, like usually the heels stand tall, they lose. That's Wrestling 101. So now it plants that seed, like, is Christian going to upset Kenny Omega? I don't think so. But it plants that seed of doubt, like, man, like they had Kenny look real strong to end. You know what I mean? And he didn't look like strong by himself.
There's no way
in
anybody that's not named Hangman is winning that belt.
You're damn right.
Because I think they might actually riot if Hangman is not the one to win that championship.
And it has to be off of Kenny.
Yeah, it has to be. You have to end the story. And AEW does a great job. Like I said, we said it earlier, they end the story. Even if the story sucks. If you remember back to the what the hell were they called? The Nightmare Collective. The Nightmare Collective. Right? Terrible story. But they ended it. Okay? The story with Ali and QT Marshall.
Oh,
terrible
QT
story.
Marshall.
But they ended it. They ended it. They will always end the stories. Even if they're stupid, they give us a satisfying ending. But right before we get in, what do you think of the whole cage spot, Jacky?
It was freaking pandemonium, honestly. Like, it seemed like just like 50 million things happening at once. I did get a kick out of Cutler spraying people cold spraying off the cage. I don't know, like it conveyed what it needed to, but maybe I'm kind of hung up the same way Ann is, like where it just felt like it was just so much happening and then it just kind of like ran off at the end. But I don't know, like I don't know how I felt about the ending. Like it was.
I liked it. To me, it was
right.
very Attitude Era like, where it was just like, this show's ending in chaos. Like, all right, and I'm sure they'll, probably on Thursday night or whatever. I'm sure they will put up some type of exclusive video like they always do on their social media. Actually, wait, before I even say that, before we get to predictions, how do you guys feel that they ended the Orange Cassidy match during picture-in-picture?
It's something that Tony Khan has been talking about.
Blew my mind. I was looking down. I didn't even see it.
That is the perfect match to do it, touring, right? Because you're not going to get too much heat for it. But now, because we all were talking and we're like, wait a minute, that match just fucking ended. Like, it just ended. Like, you saw Cassie roll over, and when they cut back, the music was playing.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on?
I
didn't mind it though.
No,
I didn't mind it because I was gonna say, because the payoff wasn't necessarily the ending of the match. The payoff was what happened after, like with all, again, the run-ins, the chaos, so yeah, to me it was like, okay, it ended. I was a little confused because I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the first time that this has happened. Like, I can't recall a match ever ending in picture in picture.
I don't think it ever happened. But like they've said since then, like it's designed, like Ann said, to keep you on your toes. Like I was literally looking down because we're in picture, whatever, right? And what AEW shows, it is 2 hours of nonstop, and like you can't go to the bathroom, you can't get a snack. For me, that sucks. I like to get snacks, right? And I just made it home in time to watch it, so I wasn't even set up properly. And then like I'm like, all right, then I could take a breath. It's picture-in-picture. It's always a commercial for whatever movie they're playing 1,500 times on TNT, which is annoying, right? But I miss it. But it was still fun. It was still a good time. I'm happy they did something different.
Can I just mention one thing?
Yeah.
The only time I lay down is for my wife after a victory.
Oh my God.
Can we talk about fucking Eddie Kingston's fucking promo? Oh my God. Yeah. Yo, Eddie doesn't miss. But then Miro can take something so serious and then fucking say that line, pop you, and then bring you back to like, oh my God, I think Miro's going to kill Eddie.
Yeah, 100%. And he does it in such a unique way, right? He's not like, I'm the monster, I'm going to kill you. He's like, I'm going to kill you and then forgive you because I am God's champion. Like, what the hell?
I'm the Redeemer.
Yeah, what video game boss is this? Is this so cool, right?
I think, without question, those two, Eddie Kingston and Miro, are delivering some of the most entertaining promos, like, consistently. Like, when they, like, as soon as they hit the screen and they're talking, that's it. Shut up. We're
telling
listening.
you, all out, CJ's coming out with Miro.
I hope so.
Her
hope
contract
so.
ended September
Yep.
1st.
That whole set of
So,
people, CJ,
September 1st,
Buddy
she
Matthews.
was allowed. And why would he keep bringing her up? Like, because we all know her and we all know she's smoking hot. But like, that's the perfect way to bring her in, right?
Yeah, and it makes the most sense.
She
a lot of people knows
Eddie,
how.
she can cost Eddie the match.
Yeah,
Gains heat on Miro, brings CJ in, gains sympathy for Eddie.
yeah.
Perfect.
And set up the feud that I've talked about on past shows with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, because that's where it left off. Because Miro injured Kip. When Kip had to go out for surgery. Perfect way to do it. And AEW is great at having people be managers and also wrestlers. So I'm sure that's something that CJ would want to actually do.
Yep.
Which is great. But so enough for that. Let's get into our predictions for the show. And you mentioned it earlier, so we're going to start there. The Casino Battle Royale.
There's one answer.
Who do you think?
There's one
first,
fucking answer.
who do you think is going to win?
Answer.
Who do you think is going to win?
There's one answer. Jade. Jade Cargill is cleaning house.
You think she's going to win already?
Jade Cargill is going to win this match.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
We
I do not
Jade,
agree with you. No?
We stand Jade
don't
Cargill
either.
over here. We
What do you
stand
think,
Jade
Jacky?
Cargill over here.
Listen, if all, like, I'm not gonna say like I have a crystal ball, but all signs are pointing to a Ruby Soho debut. I wouldn't mind, I would not mind seeing her take it. But
Ruby and Jade are in at the end, and Jade eliminates her. And
I
gets
think
heat.
with the fact that Jade messed with Thunder Rosa, that's going to come back to bite her, and that gets her eliminated. Or Nyla turns on Jade, throws her out. Or Jade, something. Nyla and Jade are not going to be able to work together. They're going to cost each other the match. Or Thunder Rosa is going to bring somebody in. Maybe she brings in Camille from NWA, right? Who knows?
I'm about to get a fucking ticket on Air Canada and fly over there. You do not talk about Jade Cargill, the based god.
Whoa,
right?
Fred, so you don't like Jade? What's going on in the
Jade
chat?
Cargill,
Hold up.
We stand.
I think
Jade
it's
Cargill.
way too soon for Jade.
Yeah.
Because remember, the winner
So
of
the
this
only
match
way- the
gets a
only-
title
the only
shot.
way I'm not going to accept it. The only way I'm not going to accept it is if Tessa Blanchard shows
No,
up.
listen,
Let's
I
do
get that,
That's the
100%.
only way I'm cool with it.
No, I get that. But if Jade wins, she gets a title shot. And I don't want
Yeah.
Jade losing to Britt Baker yet. I want Jade, when she goes for that title for the first time.
When's the title, though? When's the title shot?
It's usually like
Whenever?
a couple weeks after, a week after.
Okay.
They don't
if
wait.
It was like next pay-per-view could really
No,
go.
but the next pay-per-view is in November. Remember, it's like that. Full Gear is far away. So who I think is winning. I think honestly, it's Ty Conti. AEW does a great job of on Elevate. If you watch Elevation in Dark, you can
I thought
kind
I
of
had a homer pick.
yeah, exactly. But no, but if you watch Elevation in Dark, you can kind of see where they're going, especially with the women. Before Chris Statlander got her title shot, she won a ton of matches in a row on Elevation in Dark, and then she was the one to get the match. I think that it could be Ty Conti. Of course, I don't think Britt Baker is going to lose anytime soon. So I think that you could give her Ty Conti. They can have a great feud for a couple of months. Maybe, something to do between now and Full Gear. And then at Full Gear, maybe we get Britt versus Thunder Rosa again. Who knows?
Yeah, I was thinking it's either going to be to me, either if Ruby shows up, it could be her. But my other pick was Thunder Rosa. So shout out to everybody in the chat that's
I think
talking
honestly,
about my girl Thunder
Rosa.
Thunder
it would be great, right?
The story's there for Thunder and Brett. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm being a homer and I'm picking Jade because she's my favorite on the AEW roster, and I want to see her succeed. But honestly, it is probably too soon for her.
It's way too soon.
You want to keep her looking dominant. You want to keep her, and you need to really stack that division up so when she wins the title, she's having competitive matches. You can have her run through some people, but you need to know that roster, someone can actually beat her to take it off.
Yeah.
And
There's nobody right now.
There's nobody that can beat her to take it off.
Nobody. I mean, unless I know Serena Deeb turned heel before she got hurt, so she would be the only one. She's like the Dean Malenko of the women's division, which is cool because she comes out with the robe that says the woman of 1,000 holds, right, or something like that. It's been so long since we've seen her. Or your girl, Emi Sakura. You don't think she's gonna win?
Is that the one that comes out like
Freddie Mercury?
Freddie Mercury, yeah.
No.
All right, so before we move on to the next match.
Can I mention my dark horse, though? Because I do have a dark horse in Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter
I
would be
do have
cool.
because she is Britt's muscle, and
Yeah, but
that
then
could
she would
lead
turn
to-
on Britt so soon. They just joined up like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, it got her over though. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but I mean-
It got her put back on the map. That's
All right,
what
so before we move on to the next
forget that,
match,
like, it's pro wrestling, dude.
100%.
Shit can change in a week.
so we can talk about this match forever. But before we move on to the next match, I want one or two, right? One surprise each. We'll start with you, Jacky. Who do you think will be a surprise entrant? And you can't say Ruby Soho because it's pretty much guaranteed. Besides Ruby Soho, who do you think will be a surprise entrant in this battle royal?
Oh, well, damn, you're like catching me off left field.
There's a lot of women that got.
I hadn't even thought of
I
it.
remember the Forbidden Door. People can come in and not be signed.
Ooh. Is this more of a who I think or who I would like to see? Because
Either or. Who just.
go either or.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, I'm like, well, what if CJ is an entrant in this
That'd be
battle
cool.
royal?
That'd be really
She's
cool.
a free agent, you know.
Uh-huh. That'd be really cool.
So
That's a good pick. What about you, Ant?
Going Jordan Grace.
Ooh, that's a really good pick.
Yeah, I'm going Jordan Grace. I don't think you see Diana because they're going to want to keep her looking really strong.
Mm-hmm. My pick is going to be the newly formed Inspiration. Because, of course, I will not pick Tessa Blanchard because I've been booking her return for a year and a half, and I'm
It
heartbroken.
just looks like she's at NXT, honestly. It
Yeah,
does.
don't. Of course it would because they changed the logo and it sucks now and they killed it, but whatever. So I'd have
No,
to
of course
start
they'll
from
sign your favorite wrestler.
Yeah, of course. That's just the way it works. But so, I think it's going to be the Inspiration. Doesn't mean that they are signed there full time. I still would like them to sign to Impact full time because they have an established women's tag division, and I know that's very important to them. But I do think we get the Inspiration as a surprise entrant in this. Whether it's both of them or whether it's just one of them and the other one helps, I think that would be a big deal. But now from that, we move on to no one's favorite match of the night. Paul White versus QT Marshall. I think the only thing we can hope for is that it's fast.
It's going to be fast.
I want ding, ding, punch over. I want the entrances to be longer than this match. Like, please.
All right, so let's talk about it. Ready? Let's talk about this match. One punch, it's over. Move on to the next match.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
I don't even want to talk about the match. It's just they want to put Paul White on the pay-per-view because, again, lapsed fans are going to come back for Punk. They're going to see people they know. Next match.
So, Rob, in the chat, Rob is saying the ice cream bar break of the night. My friend, please do not miss another match because you're trying to get an ice cream bar because, like we said, this match is going to be really fast.
That's all right. Every time we go to WrestleMania, I had a cheesesteak break.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to get from your seat to the aisle
the back
before the match is over. I'm telling you, bro. So now, to the next match, we have Jon Moxley versus Kojima. Who are we going with here?
Awesome. You got to go Mox.
Let's go to Moxley.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fucking war. People don't know, like, that's strong style coming over here. And Moxley's promo on Dynamite was perfect to put Kojima over. Kojima is a decorated Japan star. And, you know, it lays the groundwork for Mox to start wrestling to the more modern Japanese stars like a Tanahashi, like Ibushi. Like, would love to see him go against Shingo. But I think right now this is the perfect battle because you got to think Mox is going to get to pick who he wants. Mox is a fucking diehard fan of old school New Japan wrestling. So he got probably his first pick. He probably picked him. It's going to be a war. It's going to be hard hitting. Mox is going to win.
We have Mox. All three of us have Mox
Without
winning.
question, yeah.
100%. Now we go on to what the chat was talking about before we even started. We have Miro versus Eddie Kingston for the TNT Championship. We kind of covered it before with the promo that was on Dynamite, but who do you actually think is going to win the match? I'll start with you, Jacky.
I think Miro is going to retain.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. What I would love to happen, I want Eddie Kingston to take the belt. I would love for that to happen. I just don't see it happening here.
Miro takes the win because CJ gets involved, leading to a rematch at Arthur Ashe in New York. Eddie Kingston versus Miro.
I'm going to
TNT
say
title.
So that's interesting, right?
I think you can't just throw this match together because that one promo that we got was so good. I think they're gonna build off of that.
But so and like Fretz is saying this in the chat. A lot of people are saying this in the chat, agreeing with you, Ant, about the Arthur Ashe thing. Yeah. But we can't get ahead of ourselves. We're not gonna get any.
You can't have everyone win. You're from New York.
All New York people aren't gonna win belts in.
I do think you get that match. I do think you continue this story because again, that promo was so good, and you cannot just keep feeding people to Miro because then eventually you're going to run out of people. You have to have him have an actual feud. And this should be his feud.
Yeah. Or maybe Kip and Penelope get involved and force him to lose.
God damn it, with the Kip thing.
I like Kip Sabian, bro. What can I say?
You love Kip. I know. But it's just so funny because you're like, yeah, but maybe we get Kip.
But because now you think about it, right? You're like, all right, so maybe Eddie wins in New York, but then that means PNP wouldn't win in New York. I would rather see them win the tag title.
Let's circle back to the Kip thing real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Is that going to be the new thing now? Since
circle back to the Kip thing.
Yeah,
rematch.
I think Miro's going to win.
Kenny Omega stands tall, but then Kip comes back with Penelope.
I think Miro's going to win. So now we go to the next match, which is the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros in a steel cage match. It could really go any way, right?
Young Bucks.
You think? What about you, Jacky?
I think the Bucks are gonna take it. If I'm fantasy booking, it's just okay, let them hold on to the belts a little bit longer to drop it to PNP in New York. I don't know that's how that's necessarily going to go.
I think that is the title change that happens at Arthur Ashe. If not Hangman, if Hangman has to wait to full gear, that title is changing at Arthur Ashe. Because Miro's been dominant as champ, so you can get it with Eddie. Eddie comes up.
And Eddie's never been a character that needs a belt.
He's the fighter, right? That's his story. He's the fucking fighter. He'll come up short, but he'll keep fighting. And that's the story with Eddie. But I feel like PMP, you want to establish people that's not like, hey, look, your VPs have the belt still. PMP is the tag team that you brought in to be on the top of your card. Give them their crowning moment.
So the chat here is split. Bros. We got Ed saying Lucha Bros. We got another saying Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros have that thing with Andrade. They're not winning a title yet.
That's smart, yeah. And Fretz is saying Jurassic Express. Jurassic Express, nowhere near those titles. They had their moment. And they're great. They're super popular.
Jungle Boy's gonna be the person who upsets Miro for the TNT title. I've said it from day one, and I still believe it.
That's a great pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rob, I agree. It's got to be the Bucks, right? Because Tony Khan said on Unrestricted or whatever the hell it's called, I can't think of the name. But this week that this is a callback to when they had their ladder war match at the first All Out. So I think the Bucks win because the Lucha Bros won 2 years ago. So we go from that to another match that I'm not necessarily looking forward to, and that is Chris Jericho versus MJF. If Chris Jericho loses, I'm not, because if Chris Jericho loses, he retires, and he's just going to be on commentary. This scares me because I do not want him to beat MJF, but I also don't want Jericho to retire. But I don't know what's going on. But what do you think?
I think MJF wins. I do.
I hope so. And listen, it's wrestling. People retire all the time. I would love to see you keep this. MJF doesn't lose, right? And MJF just has his number, and Jericho can go away for a little bit, and we can miss him. We've seen so much Jericho in this past year, right?
He did his job. Jericho did his job.
Now with all these new people coming in, and all the people that you've been building for these last almost 3 years.
I don't agree with Jim Ross much, but Jim Ross said you're MVP Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho has been just that since this company started. He's put people over. He's been the face. He's moved the needle. Now it's time for him to move over as they bring in guys like Brian and Punk and Cole if he comes. You're not going to need Chris Jericho as much. Let Chris Jericho transition. His body's been through hell. Let him get on commentary. and then bring a feud back where he said, you know what, I'm the unretired. Michael Jordan fucking retired. Brett Favre retired 6 times. Like, people retire and unretire.
Yeah, Ric Flair.
So,
Ric Flair's the king of
I
retiring.
was going to say, Ric Flair is like,
Right.
has had, I don't know how many retirement parties.
Yeah.
When they first announced the stipulation with the Jericho MJF match, I thought automatically that meant that Jericho was picking up the win. I'm like, as soon as they throw that little I'm never going to wrestle again stipulation, you know who's going to freaking take it. But the way that they've been playing it with the promos, the intensity of everything, it started to sway me where I'm like, oh shit, maybe Jericho is going to take the L on this one.
I hope, man.
And really just push MJF to that next level. And, you know, like you guys said, give himself the break that he needs. So
Yeah.
I think MJF could take it. Clean sweep.
So now I'm going to start with you, Jacky, with this next one. Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander.
Britt Baker's taking this.
Yep.
It's not Statlander's time. No, like it's not even a question. I love Chris Statlander. I think she's great. I think she's a contender for down the line to take the belt, but it's not happening now. Britt is on fire. She's on a roll. I think they're gonna just roll with this as long as they can, and Statlander ain't gonna be the one to do it.
Now we have 2 matches left. So we have Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. I think we all agree Omega's winning, right?
Omega with Daniel Bryan showing up to end the pay-per-view.
Okay. No, they're not main eventing. They're not main
Punk
eventing.
is.
Punk is main eventing. Tony Khan has said it multiple times. He said on the Unrestricted, and I think he was on Busted Open too when he said it, but he said that this is the most anticipated match in wrestling, and he keeps talking about how big this match is and all the media that is being done for this match. This main event's the show. CM Punk versus Darby Allen. Does Punk win, or does Punk put Darby over? I'll start with you, Ant. What do you think?
It's his first match back. CM Punk has to win.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago may riot.
If
I
Punk
think
doesn't
you
win?
can have Punk win the first one. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the last one they do. And then Darby can get his win back later. Maybe CM Punk eventually wins the title, and the callback is Darby then beats him for the title, and now is ready to be the best in the world. That's what this whole thing was based on. That's what this whole thing was set on. I think if you have Punk come back after 8 years and have him lose, his credibility's gone. Right? We've seen him lose his last 2 real fights.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get one win.
Yeah.
We need a win. We need a win out of the man.
Well, what are you betting on, Jacky?
Without a doubt, I think Punk has to take it. I think that Darby is established enough that he can take the loss and it's not going to hurt him at all. People are probably expecting Punk to win anyway. Like you said, it's Chicago. It's his first match back. I think it would be a big miss if they didn't let him take the win on this one.
You can still have Darby look great, though. Like, you can have Darby kick out of a couple GTSs and have the crowd just go fucking berserk, right? And then Punk's like, oh, see, this is why you would have been my favorite when I was younger. It's because you have heart. You know what I mean? You're tough.
And maybe
like
they end the match hugging or shaking hands, and Punk holds up Darby's hands like, this guy is the future, but, whatever. I agree, Punk, right? It has to be Punk. Tony Khan is known for sending the fans home happy, especially during pay-per-views, right? I mean, we won't talk about the exploded barbed wire deathmatch disaster that was this year. But everything else, usually they send people home happy with a decision that they like. Yeah. So I think we end with Punk, and then you send Punk on the media tour, which I think would be pretty cool. But, so that's all it for the predictions this week. We got to get out of here because, of course, right after this show on twitch.tv/GameOfAnt, we have GOW, the best E-Fed out there going. So make sure you guys go over there as soon as this is done. And hey, once I get affiliate on this, hopefully, we can just raid Ant's channel. So we can just take the whole chat and move it over there. Once we get there, I don't know if it's going to blow the system up with all these computers running and it's craziness, right? And the internet's a weird place. But before we get out of here, I just want to thank Jacky for being here. As always, you are always welcome. Let the people know where they can follow you.
You can find me on Twitter at LoveYouMake24.
Love it. I love it. And then, of course, Ant is
I'll make love to you.
Ant is at ButtRock91. I mean, Game of Ant.
ButtRock90. Creed forever.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Elite POV. We are available anywhere you guys get the podcast. We will also be uploading this entire VOD up to our brand new YouTube channel. So if you guys aren't able to watch this live and be in this great chat like we had tonight, you will be able to watch it on our YouTube channel. We are taking this a lot more serious, I should say, right? And we got a lot of big things coming, a lot of things in the works that I'm working on.
We're trying to get to all that next year, guys. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe
That's
even full
the
gear.
goal.
Maybe
That's
we're
the
working
goal.
the Rob schedule, right? We're flying high profiling all over the world to go to all these AEW pay-per-views. There's only 4. It could be done, right? Once I get past my wedding ceremony and once I get past my honeymoon, all bets are off. We find everywhere. All right, we find everywhere. But thanks, everybody, for watching live. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow the show, twitch.tv/ElitePOV if you weren't able to catch it live. We will see you guys next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Maybe we'll have the preview screen. Maybe we'll have the intro. It's a work in progress. But thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Quiet. Nobody quiet.